Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Box of the Technical Trader, and it's Thursday, May 13th. Once again, the charts of the day. Alphabetically, as usual, the first stock is Competitive Technology, CTT. Now, you'll see that the stock was in a slow drift down until the February-March period when it based out, retested the 125 area on a couple occasions, and finally broke out above the $1.50 range on a price volume surge in early April. That set it off. Little flag formed, stock popped again, and then formed a much bigger consolidation, but held the rising 21-day moving average and formed a wedge of sorts. Yesterday, the stock moved out of that wedge slightly, and today popped out with a convincing move of 18%, and is now at the highest level it's reached, I would say about more than 2 years. And right now, this massive head and shoulders bottom could support a very big move, and we'll be looking for a pop here, at least for starters. It takes us up towards the $5 range, my initial trading target. We'll see what occurs after that, but a significant technical day today. China Wind Systems, a stock we liked back in January, but faded and broke down. We exited for a slight loss, has now snapped back with a vengeance after a brilliant earnings report. The stock was as low as 328 on Thursday of last week, and today 546 was the high close, only 3 cents off that, up 70 cents, nearly 15% on strong volume for this stock of 606,000 shares. What that did over the last 2 days was not only did the gap up set it off, but broke it through the 21-day moving average, and today the 50-day moving average, and two lateral price resistance levels. Next target up around the March high in the 6.5 zone, and then secondary target up around 820. We'll see if we get some nice follow through, but maybe an interesting play if it pulls back and consolidates on low volume. Forward Industries continues to edge higher, breaking out of a little mini pennant after the price volume surge broke it out of the base. And it's been edging higher each day for the last couple of days, up 22 cents or 5% today. That's the highest level that Ford's reached also in about 2.5 years. And at this point, it's actually 3 years now. We're looking forward to seeing how this handles the 5.5 range, which is my next trading target, followed by something around 7.75. Late in the day today, HAUP Digital, HAUP, announced that they've come out with a software package that would enable the live streaming of TV on iPod and iPad, and the stock exploded from about $1 up to 3.5, backed off to 265 in the evening aftermarket, and now it's trading up in the 345 range again. Looks like it could gap up tomorrow and run sharply. I would not be surprised to see it at the $4, maybe even $5 range tomorrow morning at some point. IFLG had a monster move today, following up yesterday's move, up another 320 or 62.5%, and the stock has now gone from under 3 to nearly 9 in just 2 sessions. But what that did was break its multi-month declining tops line and channel lateral price resistance across all three of its 10, 21, and 50-day moving averages. At this point, may even test the 10.84 range that it hit in February, at the end of February, and we'll see if that occurs. That's our trading target for tomorrow. Beyond that, something in the 13, 14 zone may be a possibility. KERX continues to consolidate bullishly and looking good in its underlying technicals. I'm looking for a pop out of this trading range that takes us up to the 8.5 zone. Beyond that, at 10. And then up next is LLEN, L&L Energy, which appears to have, had broken its short-term declining tops line, moved back up through with a price volume surge above its 10-day, tagged its declining tops line, 50-day moving average, and 21-day moving average. A little bit too much resistance for the stock on the first go, and it did back off, closing up 24 cents today. But my feeling is that the stock makes a move back through that level, across 11 is the key, and it tags the 12.5 range up in this zone, maybe even as high as 13.5 over the course of the next several sessions, perhaps. Pacer International, PACR, strong move today. Strong move yesterday, broke it out. Today backed off with a tiny, narrow inside day on low volume. I think the move, however, will accelerate and move up towards the 11.5 range short-term trading target. Pure Bioscience had a big day today, breaking out of a 6-week coil with a pop of 29 cents or 9% on over 1 million shares. That's the biggest volume in about 3.5 weeks. Looks like the stock may be headed for the $4 level short term, or maybe even as high as 5.25. Radiant Pharmaceuticals, RPC, had a good day. After this big surge in early April, the stock quieted down, got very narrow and quiet here, forming a little mini base today, popped 66 cents or 67% on 10 million shares. That could be the beginning of another move. We'll see what occurs when it gets up towards the 2.5 area, which is key overhead resistance at the early April spike high. A move through that, though, could get it up towards $4, my secondary target. SPDE, Speedy, big pop today, moving 90% on a 1.4 million shares. That's by far the heaviest volume this year. And going back on the charts, the heaviest volume in the last, since last October. So a significant day technically. We went right up to key overhead resistance from the November-December highs, and backed up just slightly, but closed rather well. Again, up 206 on 1.4 million. If we get a follow through here, this is the kind of stock that can spike up sharply and get up towards the 6.5 range, my next trading target. UPI Europlastic portfolio position continues to set up a tight little bull flag here. Picked up some volume today, but if we can get through the 5.25 range, looks like this can spike up towards the 6.5, 7, maybe 7.5 zone of my trading target. And lastly is Value Click, which had a big pop today from the 971 to 1075 area, closing right at the high and right at key 6-7 month resistance at this line here, right there. And if you can get through the neckline of this base pattern, we can see a pop that fills the gap and gets it up towards the 12.5 area, my short-term target, secondary target near 14. That's it for today and for this week. Talk to you over the weekend. Bye-bye.